Hey everybody, it's me Henry and welcome to my channel. Today in this video, we're going to continue to talk about the book The Way of Life by Mr. Kazuo Inamori. Chapter number 2, Thinking in Accordance with the Principles. Section number 1 and number 2. And let's get started. Section number 1, which is Simplicity is the best principles for being a person and doing things. And we tend to consider things too complicated. But in fact, things are very simple in nature. What looks complicated on the surface is actually a combination of several simple factors. Human genetic genes are composed of as many as 3 billion base sequences. In fact, there are only 4 types of the codes for expressing genetic genes. Truth is like a cloth woven from a thread. Therefore, the simpler the thing is, the closer it is its original state, the closer it is to the truth. Therefore, this way of thinking is very important to deal with complex things in a simple way. So, this can be said to be the law of life, and it is also applies to business as well. The fundamental principles of life and business are the same, and both are very simple. People often ask Mr. Inamori about his management skills and secrets on business especially. And once he say this, his consistent proposition, most people will show up the surprise expression, "Really?" And people that doubt that by knowing this simple truth, can they really manage well with such a primitive methods? When Mr. Inamori started Kyocera at the age of 27, he gained more or less experience from a ceramic technician. But however, he had no clue, no idea, no knowledge or experience in managing a company. However, various problems continued to occur in the company, and there were many things that needed to be decided from Mr. Inamori. For each problem or matter, he was the only person in charge, and he must make the final decision, countermeasure, and propose the solution. So he must quickly make the decision about marketing, finance, and the things that he didn't know. Now, even if it is an extremely small matter, small problem, once there was a wrong judgment was made, it is also related to the survival of a small company such as Kyocera, the time that has been just established. And however, Mr. Inamori, who was born as a technical guy, didn't even have the necessary knowledge to make this judgment. What he learned before, that was the only thing he had. So he didn't accumulate the practical experience at all. So he was thinking how to be better. He was so stressed, and he spent a long time thinking, and eventually the result is the principle is needed for guidance. In other words, he was thinking that the very simple point of what is the right standard of life and a criteria for judging, and insisting on using the right way to do the right thing from beginning until the end. And having a correct way is the most important thing. Just don't lie, be honest, don't be greedy, don't cause any troubles to others, and be gentle with others. And these principles that parents and teachers who taught us as human beings in childhood were what everyone should know. It isn't matter, of course, the norms of life. It is enough to operate business or life according to these regulations. So what is the correct principle of life? So what are the wrong guidelines for being a human, a man? So what is a good deed and what is evil deeds? So what can be done, what can't be done? And we use all these ethics that restrain people as management guidelines or judgment as a standard. So business is also a behavior that targets people. Therefore, what should be done and what should not be done not deviate from the most primitive and simple norms of life. And life and business should abide by these principles. So as long as we remain these principles, no big mistakes in this way. And this is what Mr. Inamori think purely in this way. Because of this, he didn't lose his way and went on the business and continued to achieve the final success. And up next, we're going to talk about the philosophy of dealing with things to clear the fog of life. The simple principle that guide people to adopt a correct attitude towards life can be put to another way. We call it as philosophy. However, this is not a complicated knowledge, but a life philosophy derived from our daily experience and practice. If you ask why such a philosophy must be established, it is because when people they feel lost, stressed, painful, or embarrassed in various situations, and such principle can be used in choosing which path or what action to be taken when it comes to the standard of judgment. In the process of continuous advancement, so there will be occasion where decision and judgment must be made anytime and anywhere, quickly, from work to family, from employment to marriage, and we have to make various choices or decisions. It can also be said that life is a collection of these judgments in a continuum of decision. So, in another word, the result of the accumulation of this judgment is our current life. And the principle on how to choose the standard from now on can completely change the face of our life. So we have to choose carefully. The choice without pointers is like a voyage without a nautical chart, and the action without the philosophy are like walking in the dark night without the lights. So if the word philosophy is difficult to understand, so you can also put in another way. So it can be someone else's own outlook on life, ethic, or morality, and this become the basic axis of life and serve as a starting point for a new start when we are lost in the wonderland. The current KDDI company was formed by the merger of three companies, namely DDI, the second electric company in Japan and in the international communication joint KDD, and Toyota IDO, which Mr. Inamori founded in the year of 2000. And third is Unity, a new communication operator, KDDI, that can compete with NTT, was established. However, in the mobile phone field, although the communication standards of DDI and IDO are the same, and they had divided the whole country into two and carry out their respective businesses, and under the condition of maintaining the same thing, it is impossible to compete with the industry giant NTT Docomo. The principle of market competition cannot be worked, and as a result, it is actually the exclusive monopoly of NTT Docomo. And Mr. Inamori was afraid that it would not bring any benefits to the consumers in terms of improving the services and even lowering down the charges. And hence, Mr. Inamori took the initiative to propose a merger plan. However, it is extremely difficult to adjust whether the merger is an absorption merger or a equivalence merger. Looking at the past cases of banking line, the bank mergers, since they have advocated merger equivalence, even though they have been merged, but the disputes over dominance are very common. And so Mr. Inamori proposed a plan after thinking many times and hoping that the three companies will merge with DDI instead of being equal. Of course, Mr. Inamori did not propose it based on the hegemonism or the priority of the company's interests, but the new company to be able to carry out work smoothly after its establishment. So Mr. Inamori made a calm judgment. The DDI company with the best performance and the most solid business foundation among the three companies has the best control and dominance, the best choice. So what are the principles of the business? The question. It is not the company's interest or the face, but whether it is beneficial to society or human beings, providing consumers with the excellent products and services are the foundation of business operation. And it should be also the principle of business operations. If this is the case, then a simple merger cannot fulfill this responsibility. Clarify the operating responsibilities so that the new company will be on the right track as soon as possible and start a long-term stable operation. Otherwise, it will not arouse the real market competition, nor will it bring benefits to consumers or society. In judging objectively based on this point of view, so everyone can draw a conclusion that DDI is the best company to control the dominant power. Therefore, Mr. Inamori included his thought and explained to the other side the state of information and the communication industry in Japan. And furthermore, Mr. Inamori suggested that after the merger, Toyota Corporation, the largest shareholder of IDO and KDD, should be the second largest shareholder after Kyocera Corporation. And thanks to the sincerity and enthusiasm from the team, they finally reached a consensus on the merger. And later, the new company KDDI made the greatest progress. It is not about anyone's own interest, but the interest of others as a first priority. As a result of the implementation of this operating principle, eventually, ultimately, this has contributed to the success of this merger. So that was the sharing for today's video about the book, The Way of Life, chapter number 2, section 1 and 2. So if you find values and learn something from this video, you gotta smash the subscribe button and turn on all the notifications so that you're not gonna miss out any video just like this from this channel. And most importantly, leave your message, leave your comment, and let me know what you think. I would love to read your comment and reply to your comment. And I hope to see you in the next video.